What's up, everybody? We are back. We got the crew here. Sports Gambling Daily. Got Pooji. We got Philly, aka was it Prop Poppy?
Prop Poppy.
Prop Poppy.
Not a name I came up with, but I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you.
And I'm the coach. Hey, we're just here to bullshit and have fun. Nothing was better and nothing was more fun than watching them Eagles tank yesterday. Completely threw that game. Because I got two Eagle fans here, which, yes, there are two Eagle fans this season. I got to get your take on it, man.
Well, the beanie's gone. I threw that thing out.
Who are you asking it to? I'm sure we have differing opinions potentially.
All right, well, some of your thoughts, Pooji. What'd you think about that switch at fourth quarter?
So to start, Doug Peterson, one's got to go. Complete moron. A lot of people refer to him as like a genius or something, but I just don't.
He did win a Super Bowl.
He did, I guess. Well, Brandon Graham did, and Nicky Foles clutched up. Tom Brady can't beat the NFC East. But yeah, Doug Peterson had a chance to tie it 17-14, but he wants to go for it. Jalen Hurts should have made that pass, though.
Well, okay. Well, then wouldn't it make more sense for them to tank that game? Because they gained more by losing than winning.
So, yes, in theory, if you step back from the horse shit and you look at it, yeah, they probably were mission accomplished, and because you got the 6th pick instead of the 9th. Now, you could certainly make the argument that they're terrible at drafting anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter. But I think where the problem came in is, and Dan Patrick kind of talked about this on his show earlier today, and I said this last night. If it's not a 1 o'clock, if it's a 1 o'clock in the afternoon game in the middle of everything, it probably sort of gets swept under the rug more so. This was a national game. You can't come out and say you played to win, but you pulled out your starting quarterback in a 3-point game to put in a guy that hasn't taken a snap all year to tell me you're evaluating that situation. That is ridiculous. Now, I don't know if the Eagles thought they would be in the game at that point. Maybe they, in a blowout, I do get it. But there was just a taste of, it was almost too obvious. Now, I get why they did it. They don't owe the Giants anything to win that game. And if the Giants wanted to make the playoffs, they should have won one more game. They could have beaten the Eagles the first time around. So there's a couple levels to it for me. I also think, if you're telling Eagles fans that you're potentially trading away Wentz to give Jalen Hurts the keys to your franchise, then wouldn't it kind of be beneficial to see Jalen Hurts in a sort of playoff atmosphere instead of pulling him out? I mean, there's so many layers to it. I don't think coming out and telling Eagles fans and everybody else that you played to win that game, that's obviously bullshit. You didn't play to win, you played to lose essentially. And I don't know, but there's been teams been doing it forever. We watched the team in the Sixers tank an entire season and they called it a process. We watched the Jets give up a long bomb to the Raiders two plays in a row to lose a game when they probably should have won because everybody thought they were going for Trevor Lawrence. So to me, there's a lot of layers to it, but I do think it reeked of. Did I ramble too much?
No, not at all. I think that it was predetermined. They were, because I listened to the post-game interview and it almost sounded as if not really evaluation. It was more of, hey man, this dude's been here for 4 years. We know he's not going to be here probably next year. So we got to give him a little bit of PT, almost like a Rudy situation. And that's how I took it in the post-game.
Sure. Why not start him then? Then start the kid if that's the case. I don't see how you put him in that position and think he's going to succeed. Down 3, you throw him into the game. He hasn't taken a snap all game in a game where the Washington football team is playing this as a playoff game. They have to win the game, right? So you're putting him in what position to succeed there? He looked like utter dog shit. Well, which anybody would expect him to. How is he supposed to succeed in that spot?
And
that was horrifying.
I guess if you really want to think about it, if the Eagles wanted to tank, then they should have just put Carson Wentz in from the beginning. So because then they probably would have lost anyway.
Well, that's fine, and we could argue that certainly. But I think realistically, if you put Wentz in there and you are thinking of trading him, I mean, what if God forbid he takes the shot and he lacerates a kidney, whatever the fuck, some shit like that. I mean, you don't need that either. But I don't know if they told me yesterday they're not sold on Jalen Hurts or they are sold on Jalen Hurts. I don't know what the fuck I thought about that.
I think they have to walk away from Peterson. I think.
Well, there's nothing around here that I'm hearing that indicates that's even remotely a possibility. Sorry.
Really?
But unless they're so embarrassed by that, like you had Sal Pal coming out and saying the league should do an investigation on it. I mean, It's getting some really big, so unless you're embarrassed by that, I don't think it happens. He won a Super Bowl here. It's not, they're not going to do it yet.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if they stripped us of the 6th pick for purpose of doing that.
Oh, and give it to the Texans just out of charity. That'd be super awesome.
The crazy part is, I don't think Sudfeld has dressed up for a game this year. I've seen him on the sideline. He hasn't even had pads on or nothing.
Has he? Was that his first NFL time ever?
No, he played. He played the year they won the Super Bowl. He's been on the team like 3 or 4 years. He just doesn't. He hasn't played a lot. He's been the 3rd quarterback here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't really understand it. I agree. He's probably not going to be here. I just feel like if you're considering Jalen Hurts for the future, and my whole point of contention is this: I'm not a Carson Wentz like above everybody. That's not what it is for me. I'm an Eagles fan first, but let me ask you this: if you're willing to give the keys to Jalen Hurts after four or 5 games, get a couple good things, he did some not some good things. If you're ready to do that after 4 or 5 games, like how can you be so confident? Because how do you get there? How do you get here with Carson Wentz now? Because if you gave him the franchise after 4 or 5 games, and you go, this guy's a pretty hell of a good quarterback. I mean, how do we ever get to this position? I just don't know how you see enough. I'm not there yet with him, but that's not to say that I don't think he could be the quarterback of the future. I just don't know.
I don't know if it matters anymore because Wentz wants out. At least that's the reports. He wants out the door. They even asked Peterson after the game, and it looks like he's out. So Hurts is the man anyway. It doesn't matter if he's ready or not. They obviously don't believe in Wentz.
It was a joke. That post-game interview with Peterson was a complete joke.
Well, see, the one good thing that's come out of 2020 is post-game interviews, because some of these reporters are willing to ask some questions that I don't think they would have asked in public or in person.
They asked him straight up, did you throw the game for the better draft pick? He's not going to answer it truthfully.
Well, yeah, of course. The thing about like stripping them picks or accusing them of whatever, throwing the game, which you can certainly make arguments that they did do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been going on, though. I mean, you can look across the league. It happens every fucking year. People do shit like this. So the problem for me was just under a microscope because it was nationally televised. It was not the same scenario. It wasn't. But the Steelers didn't dress all their guys. They started a backup quarterback. And I know Roethlisberger probably needed time off, but ultimately they let the Browns get in with a loss. And so should we be mad about that? I mean, I don't know. It wasn't the same thing, but teams do shit like this constantly.
Right.
And, if you can watch a 76ers team, like I said before, win 10 games out of fucking 82, blatantly calling it the process, blatantly saying they're going to lose to get better draft position, then it's just stuff that goes on. And to his point, he says, Punchy always says that the NFL's fixed. So if you believe that, then this shit is, it's just part of the script, man. Just that's entertainment.
Yeah. Well, I for one am glad that at least my season for the NFL is over. Watching this Texans team just fall apart and never really have a chance. Bill O'Brien completely ran that franchise into the gutter. We have no future, no draft capital, no nothing, man. But did you see Watson? He led the league in passing this year.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. And
did they give up? Did the Texans give up against the Colts?
No, they didn't give up. They should have. I mean, if anything, I think that they shouldn't have played Watson the last couple of games because, I mean, what's the real reason for doing that? He is literally the future of the franchise. And what if he takes the shot? And he's. I think
it's because they more so respected JJ Watt's comments. That's what I would think.
JJ's not going to be here next year.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's under a contract for 2 years, but. There's no guarantees. So I hope they do ship him off to a winner because I'd love to see that man win a championship.
Send him to the Eagles.
No, we need to send him to a winner. And I don't think that's going to be the Eagles anytime soon. Sorry, boys.
I mean, who knows, man? It's probably true.
Well, it was a weird NFC East. Nobody was trying to win this year. It seemed like over there.
It just comes down to, I mean, they've just been negligent since they won the Super Bowl. I mean, they literally had a possible all-time wide receiver in the draft fall to them at Justin Jefferson, and they decided Jalen Reagor was the right move. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many their offensive line problems. There's, the year they won the Super Bowl, they had a couple guys on that team that were champions. LeGarrette Blount won a Super Bowl. Malcolm Jenkins had won a Super Bowl previously. They had leadership on that team. Mm-hmm. I just have a hard time believing that, like, Carson went from what he was. Now, I'm not saying he'll ever be what he was in 2017, but they were negligent to him as far as giving him any weapons, really, any offensive line help. It's a fucking joke, really, what they've done. And I feel bad for that kid. And I really, truly believe that if he is out and he does go to a place like Indianapolis where they have a decent offensive line, a guy that's a pretty good coach there, I bet you he has a resurgence. And it's going to bite us. I just know it. I know it. He's too good. He's got too many tools to tell me that he just doesn't know how to play quarterback anymore.
Well, guys, moving on to NBA, you see anything that caught your eye yesterday or any surprises from yesterday?
I feel like there should be, since you said that, but I don't really know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying in general. The one that popped up in my head was Curry putting up 62 points. That was pretty insane.
Career high, too.
Yeah.
That's what Dame gets for talking.
Well, there was people that were like talking shit about his championships and saying, like, he can't carry a team, and that's, LeBron would be able to do more with this team than he's doing. So all of a sudden he goes and drops 62. So, who knows? They're still trying to figure it out there.
They shot almost 60% as a team from the field.
Yeah, that's incredible.
If they don't shoot that well, then they probably lose that game. They also out-rebounded the Trailblazers by, I think, over 20 defensive rebounds. So
damn, over 20. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Nurkic has been a bum this year.
See, that's why I like the Kings today. I think there's no way they're going to be able to put that kind of. Well, not that they can't. I shouldn't say no way, but I don't think they repeat their performance. Kings are a lot better defensive team this year than they have been in the past. So I'm liking Kings tonight.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
As long as Curry doesn't get 62.
Yeah.
Even if he does, they could still win the game because, I mean, guys go off for not 60, but guys go off. You see them go off and the team loses just because, there's not enough other love going around. That's why it's impressive, kind of like watching the Sixers play right now, because you got, you could have Embiid go off for 35 and dominate, but instead he's getting 17 and 5 other guys are scored 18, 20.
And is he okay with that?
It seems to be. I mean, I can tell you this much. The last game where he scored 17, he had 7 in like the first 5 minutes. I think he could have absolutely gone and got whatever the hell he wanted. Mm-hmm. But, guys are doubling him. And for the first time in his career, he's kicking it out confidently with guys that can shoot the ball. I mean, I think completely you can just see it. And Dwight Howard has an effect because he's got a guy behind him pushing him that's been a champion before, who's a fucking, future Hall of Famer. And he's never had that in his career. And when you got a guy like that saying you could be the MVP, I think it means something. So he's going out and he's playing like one.
Yeah, no doubt. So today we have a couple good games and a couple crappy games. One game in particular is my Rockets playing the Mavericks. And man, I'm telling you, the Rockets, I try to tell everybody before, you got, don't sleep on the Rockets this year. I think that they're going to be fairly decent. I would love for them to actually trade James Harden and for your boy.
I would too. Oh no, not that. No.
I don't. That's absolutely no way.
Give me Ben Simmons, give me Shake Milton, and a first-round pick, and we'll give you James Harden and PJ Tucker.
Shake Milton is going to be the new Lou Will. He's going to be the guy off the 6th man off the bench. He's that dude. I said this before, and I mean this like I'm treading lightly when I say it, but like he reminds me of Drew Holiday, and I don't mean defensively. I mean the way he's kind of slow and he kind of like he moves with a change of pace and the way he can drill. There's just something about him. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be a special player. And honestly, I think Doc Rivers thinks that too, because if you remember last year, I think it was before the pandemic, he went off on the Clippers when he started for like 45 points. And Doc Rivers was uber like he was complimenting the crap out of him. So I don't want any part of James.
Hey, were you guys surprised that Doc Rivers found his way to Philadelphia?
I don't know how it happened, but I love it.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened either.
So you guys are happy about it?
I was happy he got Seth the most.
Yeah, that's my favorite acquisition.
Because they're family too.
Years.
You know, he's married to Doc's daughter.
Yeah. I don't know how it happened. I think Daryl Morley is probably more important to it, because you could argue that Brett Brown could be the coach. Morley made these moves, and maybe they're still as good. But I do think the concepts that what do you call it, Doc Rivers has brought here has really helped. Like if you see the way, like he had Seth Curry bring the ball up, and he had Ben Simmons at the top, and they set a screen for him, and he handed the ball off, and Simmons was full steam down the paint, like 100 miles an hour. And you can't stop that. And that's something that Brett Brown never did before. So
never.
I love that about it. I think he's got them playing great ball. It's obviously early, but best team I've seen around Simmons and Embiid yet since they've been together. The closest is when they brought in Bellinelli and Ilyasova and had JJ Redick. But Seth Curry is a better JJ Redick, in my opinion, because he shoots the ball just as good and he can do more off the dribble. And I think that Danny Green and probably like Tobias Harris and they're better shooters than Ilyasova and Bellinelli are. So to me, I made that but I made that point earlier that to me, like Embiid is a little bit like if you go back to 2008 when Rivers won the title with the Celtics, Embiid is the Garnett of that team. And you have Ben Simmons, which is like Rajon Rondo in the sense that he did not shoot in 2008. Rondo was a pass first point guard. That's exactly what Ben Simmons is. And then you have poor man Paul Pierce in Tobias Harris. If he can play anything like he is right now, there's your big three.
Yeah.
So
it's a good correlation. They all correlate alike.
Yeah,
they do. I feel like it's very similar.
And Morey is going to really help you guys out at the trade deadline.
Yeah, you would know it, dude. Morey's the man.
He was basically, in my opinion, he was the best GM in the league. He was always looking for some way to swindle somebody, and he'd always find it. You know,
to do what he did in this short time is spectacular. He got rid of the fucking Al Horford contract. He brought in a dynamite shooter, and you got rid of Josh Richardson, who did nothing, for Seth Curry, who does everything you need this team to, and then you brought in a dynamite backup center and fucking Dwight Howard.
The one thing that his biggest flaw, Morey's is he doesn't respect any draft capital. Like, he will get rid of all of it. So just be used to that. The way he looks at it and the way I've heard him on the radio. He's like, I'm up to win a championship every year. So I'm going to just give you all the picks because they're not going to be good picks anyway. And give me the players. I remember we gave up a first round pick for an expiring Lou Williams contract. That year. And I'm like, Lou Williams is good. You know, he was in the running for Sixth Man of the Year that year. But I don't know if it was worth a first round pick, but you know what? He didn't care. And
right.
I think we got him from the Lakers that year. And
that's really weird too, because if I remember correctly, didn't he work with Sam Hinkie? Wasn't Sam Hinkie in the Houston organization too? Because Sam Hinkie's the king of collecting draft picks. That's exactly what the process was all about. That's really weird that like the two of them work together and one's like, fuck draft picks, and the other one's like, no, let's hoard them all.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Guys, if you made it this far, well, you definitely should be following us on Twitter. And yeah, that's right, TikTok. We have a TikTok star here in Philly. He does all these. No, I don't know. He does a lot of good stuff with his dogs. You got to check those videos out.
Can you please explain? That sounds really awful.
No, I'm not going to explain nothing. You got to go check it out.
You're actually you're ruining my time to handicap props right now, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, I guess we got to let Prop Poppy back to work. And thanks for spending a couple minutes of your day here with us.
You're welcome, man.
Sacrificing the better good. Anyway, guys, we're going to be trying to do more of these every day, and actually try to put ourselves out there in content land. So,
absolutely.
All right. Anybody else got to say anything before we end this thing?
No, I'm good, man. I'm gonna just look for some winners and hope we have a good day today. You know,
right? Enjoy some good basketball.
All right, everybody, join the Discord. Link is in the description. Pooji, Philly, appreciate it coming on, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
All right, brother. See you.